Who's that? Bryles is batting for Hernandez. Hits the first pitch to Buechele, who throws him out. Bryles bounces out. One away. And here's Biggio. Boy, you know, remember back in the first inning when Sandberg scored? Remember I said facetiously that he probably going over in the dugout and Maddux, there's your one run. Now hold the lead.
Well, he has.
Little did I know how true a statement that would be, because the score is still 1-0. And the Cubs scored their run with this full and 1 out when the Astros barely missed turning a double play, which would have ended the inning scoreless. That's how they scored the 1 run. Boy, they had a classic example of what's wrong with the Cubs hitting. With runners second and third and nobody out, Derek May, Rick Wilkins, and Steve Buechele all strike out. 2 against the left-hander, 1 against the right-hander. And Art Howell continues to manage a great series.
Steve Buechele over close to the line at third, and Maddux should have plenty left. Have only 82 so far.
Biggio. Ground ball coming in fast. On the run, quick plays out. Sanchez. Boy, oh boy, one thing about this game, brilliantly, is Maddux's pitch. He has been surrounded by a fine defense.
Sanchez knows with the infield grass high and the ball slow in the infield, he had to come get this ball to throw out Biggio, who can really get down the line. If you're going to play in this infield, you have got to play it aggressively. You can't wait back on anything. And Sanchez did a great job of charging that ball aggressively and getting off the throw.
Here is Steve Finley. Shorten up the bunt. He is the bunt. And he has had 4 out of 12 in this series. He tries a bunt, misses. I tell you, the importance of hiring Finley is that Bagwell will lead off the 9th. And Bagwell is an outstanding RBI man. There's men on base, more often than not, he'll drive them home. Oh, and 2 the count. Bouncing ball. Easy out. 1, 2, 3. And going to the bottom of the 8th. 1-0 Cubs.
Just minutes from Chicago's Loop, you'll discover a different kind of loop. A different kind of nightlife. A different kind of shopping mall. A different kind of fine dining. And a different kind of public transportation. You'll even find a rush hour you can look forward to. For a free guide to all the fun near Chicago, call 1-800-925-8181. Illinois, don't miss it.
Pizza Hut delivery. 923-7676.
923-7676.
All over Chicagoland, it's the same number.
No lines longer than your flight. No.
I can't seem to find your reservation.
No incomprehensible contracts. No heaters stuck on high in August. And no lemons. National. No problem.
Dear Suzanne, all of us at the state penitentiary are excited now that Designer Women is coming 5 days a week, but I have a slight problem. I'm president of Turned Poets Society, meets every Friday. Could you please tape your Friday shows using the enclosed tapes? Dear fella. Right. You know, I think you're just better off watching Designer Women, because you're probably forging those poems anyway.
Premiering this fall on Channel 9. 7 men whose courage inspired a nation and conquered a frontier. The Right Stuff. Wednesday night at 7 on Channel 9.
Harry Caray back Wrigley Field. Here is little Ray Sanchez, who's been brilliant in the field all day. And he's had 2 out of 3 at the plate. First pitch of Doug Jones, a new pitcher now. And Bob Scanlon getting ready for the Cubs.
Jones 8-8, the ERA 2.11 on for the 60th time, and you very rarely see your stopper come into a game where you're behind. But Art Howe wants to win this one, and that's why he's using Jones here in this non-save situation.
Well, I tell you, his handling of his pitching has been brilliant in the entire series. There's a looping fly ball, will be caught. Eric Anthony, 1 out. Sanchez, 2 out of 4. There's the relief team ERA. Baltimore's leads all baseball with a 2.69. The Cubs relievers are second, and Houston is third. Listen to the hand for Greg Maddux. Here's Jones's pitch. Bouncing foul.
That's the phone number and all the information you need.
You know, that's all you have to do is call holy cow. Here's a bunt in the air, and the pitcher Jones gets it. Maddux, who had bunted for sacrifices 3 times in a row, was so in the hang of things, bunting, he thought he'd bunt for a hit. But unfortunately, he popped it up. Here's DeCenzo looking ahead to the top of the 9th. It will be Bagwell, Anthony, Caminito, and anybody on Gonzalez. So it's not over yet. Cubs lead 1-0. Well, yesterday, Houston handed the Cubs their 16th shutout defeat of the year. The Cubs are trying to deliver their 15th. Slow curve in there. 2 balls and the strike, 2 out. Milwaukee leading the Red Sox 1-0 in the bottom of the 8th. Toronto already got beat at Cleveland 4-2. High foul ball out of play. A fast ball game. But they're always fast when Greg Maddux is pitching. But Houston has used 4 pitchers. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Lined and foul to the third base side. Remember, Harkey got. Is he in the corner there?
It's Andre Dawson.
That's Andre, yeah. You know, a week or so ago, 2 weeks ago, Harkey sitting in the dugout. A foul ball was lined in there, and in the scramble, he got hurt a little bit. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bouncing ball. Biggio throws. Boy, he almost had a little trouble fielding the ball. 1, 2, 3. The Cubs are 3 outs from a 1-0 victory.
You can do it. The Raymond family, adding up the savings with the help of True Value.
And their family is turning to our family for the bargain of the month.
It's the 8-digit solar-powered calculator. Great for budgeting or back to school. True Value priced at just $2.99.
For personal service at low prices, bring your family to ours.
You can do it with True Value.
That Highland, I don't get it. All of a sudden they claim they're offering honest advice? What'd they give you before? I mean, they even have the same salespeople. Now let's look at Electric Avenue. There's Paula heading for the top brands. Electric Avenue will beat Highland's advertised price, guaranteed. Check these great plays by our sales team. Nice move. Brands, selection, and low prices. Electric Avenue does whatever it takes to beat the competition. Highland, you're not funny.
If you're gonna win it, you got to get in. If you're gonna win it, you got to get in. Got to get in it if you're gonna win. If you're gonna win it, you got to get in. Got to get in it if you're gonna win.
Lotto. You gotta get in it to win it.
Got to get in it if you're gonna win. If you're gonna win it.
Harry Caray and Steve Stone as we go on the top of the ninth. And here is Jeff Bagwell. First pitch in there.
Bullpen up and going for the Cubs, and it's Ostenmacher and Scanlon, just in case Maddux needs some help.
Ground ball. Sanchez. 2 more and it'll be over. Maddux leading 1-0. Helped by a good defense behind him. Shooting for his 7th complete game and his 2nd shutout.
Cubs only have 8 complete games, 2 by Morgan, 6 by Maddux, and that's been it.
1 man out. Here's Eric Anthony. A home run threat. He's hit 14 of them. Look at the box score on Maddux. He's only fanned 3 men. He's only walked 1. He's hit 1. A couple of brilliant defensive plays. 1 ball, 1 strike. High pop fly, that ought to be easy. Wilkins shading his eyes. Makes the catch. 1 more and it's over. One to nothing Cubs, 2 out. Listen to the crowd.
Everybody on their feet, Harry, and you would think that this would be a division clinching game, the way the fans are approaching this effort by Greg Maddux.
Well, I hope after the game they announce he's signed with them for the next generation. 2 out, nobody on. And here's Caminiti. Strike call. He faced 3 men in the first, 3 men in the third, 3 men in the fourth, 3 men in the fifth, 3 men in the eighth. He's 0-2 now on Caminiti. Everybody's on their feet. The coolest man in the ballpark is Greg Maddux. An intense competitor. Only 26 years old. For the 5th straight year, he will have won 15 or more. There's a lot. The Cubs win. The Cubs win. And Maddux has shut them out. 1-0. A pop fly to Sanchez, who played a stellar role in this game. Boy, his catch on the pop fly, the bases loaded, was tremendous. That was after Mark Grace had made an unbelievable play.
Well, Maddux pitched a brilliant game, a 4-hit shutout. But he can credit his defense today. The offense couldn't do the job, but the defense certainly was in action every inning. And Maddux threw brilliantly, throwing ground ball after ground ball. Everybody there to make the plays when they had to make them. But what a performance by Greg Maddux. And as far as the pitching effort is concerned, he only struck out 3. He didn't have his greatest stuff. But when he had to make the big pitch all day long, he made the big pitch. And he has to be a satisfied young man to win his 15th game, Harry, with a team that is under 500 personally, he's 6 games over 500 and destined to probably go a lot better than that.
Well, this is the 5th consecutive year he has won 15 or more. An amazing record for a pitcher who's only 26 years old. They're usually just breaking in as successful pitchers. Here's a guy who's been doing it for 5 years. All right. The crowd thrilled by this performance. And the one run that the Cubs scored in the first, when I said facetiously that Sandberg probably was going over to Maddux and say, there's your lead, hold him. It did hold up. 1-0. The Cubs beat the Astros to gain an even break, not only in the series, but finished the homestand with 6 victories and 5 defeats, whilst averaging better than 33,000 in each and every one of the 11 games played here on this homestand. Well, we'll be back now in a moment.
Maybe it's the water or something in the air that gives people here what we call common sense. You can see it in the things they do, like going to 76 for their gasoline. It's the same quality the winning drivers in NASCAR depend on. And people figure if it can satisfy the demands of racing, think what it can do for their cars. Which, as you'd expect, makes perfect sense.
But in sport gear, grab a Cubs sport bag, only at 76.
Cub fans, this is your chance to vote for the 92 Cub MVP. To vote, call 1-900-820-CUBS, $1.45 per call. Children under 18 must have permission. Be ready with your favorite player's uniform number. Proceeds benefit WGN-TV, Children's Charities, and Cubs Care. The program sponsor, the Robert R. McCormick Tribune Foundation, will also contribute $1 for every call made. Again, that number, 1-900-CUBS, $1.45 per call, will honor the winning player during the October 3rd Cubs game.
The Budweiser play of the day is the only run of the day. The baseman loaded with 1 out. A ground ball to Bagwell. He fires to Candelo. The double play, Sandberg scores, and little did we know then that that would be the only run of the day, and therefore the Budweiser play of the ball game. All right, a thrilling ball game. Very rarely is a 1-0 game this thrilling.
Well, the defense, we're going to get to know you some of the defensive. Ray Sanchez at shortstop was brilliant. Mark Grace probably made the play of the day, cutting down Ed Taubensee at the plate. And you can't win a 1-0 game without good defense. Now, granted, it was a pitcher's day with the wind blowing in, but Greg Maddux made some big pitches when he had to. He got out of a terrible jam in the 6th inning, and he did it with some just outstanding defensive work.
Well, come on, let's get him signed up. I refuse to think of a year coming up without a whole pitching staff wrapped up in one bundle of a guy 26 years old, stands about 6 feet tall, weighs about 180, and probably, arguably, maybe not even arguably, the finest pitcher in baseball.
Well, one thing that you can't do when you're scouting young players is find out what's inside of them as far as the heart is concerned. And Greg Maddux has the heart of a lion. That's one of the reasons why he's just gotten better and better. He refuses to lose. He'll make the big pitch when he has to. He never gets rattled when anything goes wrong. And that's a big difference between Maddux now and the young Maddux. When he came up, he'd have the one reason to turn off the opposition. But now he's able to pitch through adversity, and he's able to pitch through it with whatever stuff he has on a given day. Today the stuff wasn't great, but Greg Maddux was great.
Well, we got to remember, Steve, he's just gaining the experience and maturity. He's only a baby, 26 years old. What a fine. You know, I hope that he heard. He's so wrapped up in the ball game. He's such an intense competitor. He may not have heard it. But I hope he heard when he stepped to the plate the last time, the ovation, the expression of the fans almost as if to say, you've been a great pitcher, please don't leave us.
I remember Greg Maddux, when the announcement came out that he was going to go the free agent route, was on the road, and he was a little concerned about the reaction that he would get from the fans when he came home. But he shouldn't be too concerned about it, because the appreciative fans here at Wrigley Field really feel good about Greg Maddux and what he's contributed to this team so far, and they hope he can continue to contribute to this team. But whatever happens, he knows that he has all the support of the people who came to the park today and come to the park every time he pitches. 33,000 fans today gave him a standing ovation when he came to the bat, Harry. And you have to notice that. I don't care how wrapped up you are in the game.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'd like to figure out, and I'm not much on finances, but how much difference is involved between $28 million or whether it be $32 million or it be $35 million. As long as you're going to make that kind of money, it seems to me it ought to be easy to reach a point where it doesn't really make that much difference. You're going to be a rich man forever.
Well, Greg Maddux has said that it's not a question of money. That's one thing that came out of the last negotiating session. His agent, Scott Boros, sat down with the powers that be for the Cubs, and it was a pretty good offer put on the table. At least Greg Maddux at that time, Harry, did not accept it. So I don't know what it is. He keeps saying it's not a question of dollars, and we're not really sure what is a question of. If it's respect, everybody here respects him. If it's consideration, I think that they've given him some consideration, and hopefully, regardless of what the impasse is, they can get by that impasse, and Greg Maddux can continue to wear that Cub uniform.
Steve, I hope before he makes any further decision, I hope he talks or he reads about Bobby Bonilla's experience, about Darryl Strawberry's, about Eric Davis, all these guys who've gone to other towns and find that they aren't thought of as well as they were before. Now, how can you be thought of more highly in a community than Greg Maddux is here in Chicago? And if there isn't that much difference in money, it should be a locked deal.
Well, I know I'd sign it and you'd sign it, Harry, but Greg Maddux is the only one who knows if he'll sign it.
Do we have time to show the fine? Well, here's Sanchez with the bases loaded. Now watch it. The wind is blowing. It's a tough chance. He's running hard. The wind is blowing the ball away from him. With the bases loaded, he makes the catch. That's one of the game-saving plays. All right, the totals are for the victorious Chicago Cubs: 1 run, 8 hits, no errors. Greg Maddux, the winner. He now has won 15 and lost 9. 15 victories or more for the 5th year in a row. For Houston, no runs, 4 hits, 1 error. Brian Williams, a loser. He now has won 4 and lost 4. Speaking for Steve Stone and Tom Brenneman, this is Harry Caray from Wrigley Field. If you weren't here, I'm sorry. You missed a heck of a ball game. And I hope you had as much thrill watching the telecast as the people had here in person. All right, we'll see you later. So long, everybody. The producer-director of Cubs baseball is Arnie Harris. The coordinating producer is Bill Barson. Our associate producer is Joe Carneal. Our next telecast on Channel 9 will be between the Cubs and the San Francisco Giants Tuesday night. That's Tuesday night. Our telecast begins at 9:30 Chicago time. Stay tuned now for the 10th inning show, which Steve will have in a moment. Harry Caray from Wrigley Field. Final score again. The Cubs won. Houston nothing.
Chicago Cubs baseball on Channel 9. The Cubs have been brought to you by Bud Light. Look for the Bud Summer game details at participating retailers. By True Value. Got a tough job to do? You can do it with True Value hardware stores. Pepsi-Cola. Gotta have it. By your local 76 dealers who invite you to go with the spirit of 76. And by the Chicago Tribune. Get in the game. Get a Tribune.